Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Tinubu to governors, pay wage award to your workers. Varsity workers declare warning strike. Conditional cash grant begins. Probe of 30 trillion naira federal government overdraft from CBN begins. EU faults VAT system. Padding claim, senators put Ningi on the fire. UK bars foreign health workers from bringing dependents. And UBA plans a $100 million lift for businesses. Okay, which story?
Major headline. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu spoke yesterday in Minna, the Niger state capital, where he inaugurated Governor Umaru Bago's massive agricultural program. He also laid the foundation for a terminal building at the airport, which was renamed after him. And he said there that payment of wage award to workers by state governments will bring relief to a cross-section of Nigerians. And he was challenging the governors to, take that path in collaboration with the federal government as part of the efforts to alleviate the economic reforms and the pains, that Nigerians are going through. And we know that following the petrol subsidy, the federal government had initiated the payment of 35,000 naira monthly wage award to its workers for 6 months, which has been paid already for 5 months. They said some states have started paying, some have been paying 25,000, others are paying 10,000, but majority of the states are not paying at all, in spite of, the large flows they received recently from, the federation account. They said usually they used to receive about 650 billion to 850 billion, but recently they got over 1.1 trillion. And because of that, they must have changed to pay the wage award to workers, which will help them alleviate the sufferings that everybody's going through at the moment. And so he's appealing that every governor gets on board and starts paying. Then he touched on other issues, which he said, talked about the programs that the policies are brought about, such as the student loan, which will be inaugurated on Thursday. And he said the program will commence, which will also, help students have a form of relief. He also talked about the social security program for the elderly and vulnerable, which will also commence very soon. And, he said they have plans to address the headers and farmers issue, that they are going to be working with different state governments, they are going to be providing land for them, that they understand what it means for, cattle to just get into the farm and eat up crops of, farmers. And this is also putting a dent in our economic situation. But they are going to be working on it to see how they can, alleviate some of these things. And that's a promise that he, the president, is giving to Nigerians.
Okay.
I have the UK.
That's the story you cuckoo have.
Before. So, according to their Prime Minister on X, it says that from today, that was yesterday, UK care workers entering the UK, migrant care workers entering the UK on health and care worker visas can no longer bring dependents. And he said it's part of our plan to deliver the biggest cuts on migration. So, according to, in December, they had already announced that, they are grateful for the contribution of overseas care workers, and they are clear that their migration is not a long-term answer to their social care needs. And so they are doing this, but they reserve visas with dependents for students on postgraduate courses that are designated to the UK. And also, they have also prevented those overseas students from switching out of student route into work routes after their studies in the UK. So there was a tweet on X I saw where someone said UK is the most unhappy, number one unhappiest place on earth. I think this is true because now when care workers get there, they will enter serious depression.
It's not only care workers are good there.
No, if you go there, leaving your family and dependents back home, especially when they are younger ones. Because I have a client who are trying to do a process to go there. She has 2 young children. Okay. So imagine say she cannot carry them to go and work.
Okay.
Anyway,
you have a story.
Yes, I do. I have the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, SANU, and non-academic staff, NASU, have declared a 7-day warning strike beginning March 18th for the payment of their members withheld 4-month salaries after the 2022 nationwide strike. So they said that this decision came about and has been approved by their Joint Action Committee after a meeting that they had in Akure at the weekend. The president, Mohammed Ibrahim, that's the president of SANU, had signed a communique issuing at the end of the meeting that the decision to embark on warning strike was taken as last resort They said they'd written several protest letters and other forms of communications with the federal government, and it did not result in the payment of the withheld salary. So that's to show us that they are not just jumping onto a strike. They had tried all the different avenues, and it hasn't yielded much. So they explained that the former president, Buhari, had withheld salaries of university workers who went on strike in 2022, right? And then last October, President Tinubu ordered the payment of 4 out of the 8 with the withheld salaries for 8 months. They said they went ahead and paid ASU, but they have not paid SANU and NASU. And so after much deliberation, they feel that this is the next step that they have to take.
All right, so I have the Senator Ningi's story, controversy over the allegations of budget padding against the presidency and Senate President Godswill Akpabio by Senator Abdul Ningi is still raging in the Senate. If you recall, he had claimed that in the interview that the Northern Senators Forum had uncovered lopsidedness and padding of the 2024 budget to the tune of 3 trillion naira. Has however come back to say that those were his own personal views, that it was not representing the views of the Northern Senate Forum. He was speaking during the interview by the BBC Hausa, again, language issues, because he was speaking in Hausa. By the time it was translated, according to him, the presidency, Bayo Onanuga, had given a press release concerning what was brought to him that he feels was somewhat misinterpreted. His views were somewhat misinterpreted. Misrepresented. Also, the senator from Ondo South, that Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, has called for an arrest and prosecution of Ningi for giving false information. And many of the northern senators have also come to say that they are not part of his views, that those are his own personal views. But again, it raises another issue of language.
Yeah.
But actually, from the translation we have, what he said is what he said. And he said he's not afraid of probe. He's not afraid of being investigated for what he said, that he believes in what he has said. So take it from there. Moving on now to the Punch. Parties demand 3.7 trillion naira padding probe. Northern senators disown Ningi. FG laments blackout despite 65% subsidy, warns discos. Pray for Nigeria to overcome challenges, governors tell Muslims. Terrorism UN begins Lagos Abuja airport security audit. Unpaid salaries, Sanu Nasu Tako FG declare 7-day strike. Commuters groan as one-chance robbers invade Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Tinubu condemns farmer header clashes, unveils Niger Greek airport projects. Okay, which story? Punch?
Yeah, so motorists and passengers flying the Lagos Ibadan Expressway are lamenting the increase in the operations of one-chance robbers in the Muweiba for Bega area of the road. And some passengers had to speak to Punch Metro at the weekend, and they said that the road was no longer safe for them due to the activities of the one-chance criminals. A teacher, Sarah Oladele, spoke to the correspondent, and she says she no longer goes out once it's 7 p.m. Whatever she's doing outside, she makes sure that she gets home before 7 p.m. because she doesn't want anything to happen to her and her children. And another person, a hawker, who also gave her name as Rebecca, says she only plies the road because she has no other choice, because she has to sell her wares on that road, and there's no other road for her to pass. And just last week, her brother was involved in this. They collected his phone, the cash he had with him before they finally dropped him off. He said in the last month, about 4 persons had been robbed and attacked on that same road. There was one of them who was even stabbed in the hand while he was trying to struggle with them. Another bus driver said that he no longer carries more than 3 male passengers. They now select who they carry because they don't want to be victims of the one-chance people. And he says, I drive Korokbe and I don't usually carry more than 3 male passengers at a time. Everybody just trying to be careful. But then the police has said that they are going to increase the roadblocks on the road, put more police there, and see how they can salvage this.
All right, let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.